cultivating inner peace and living the abundant life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the introduction, Raquel. Um, okay, so good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the part of the world today. I'd first like to thank the organizers and the host of this event. Those who I haven't met who are part of bringing this amazing event together. Thank you to Janine, who I recently met. It's been a pleasure meeting and talking with her prior to this event. A special shout out to my personal coach and mentor, Chris Williamson, who I have had the privilege to be working with. Chris does not know that I was actually going to briefly be talking about this, but it's worth me making the mention that when it comes to my own personal development, I hire people who are smarter than me. And he is well advanced in his skills, and he has definitely been an asset to my personal and professional development. So whenever I feel I'm getting stuck in my own challenges, I know that I can always count on him to help me get out of my own mental rut. And he does it with so much humor as well. So count yourself blessed if you get the privilege to work with him. All right, so I will be starting off by introducing myself. So my name is Aaliyah Eco, and I am so happy and grateful to be here with you all as one of the speakers for the Excellence Convention. I've been a coach for 7 years and I help women transform their lives through self empowerment. A lot of the background work I do is to do with helping women cultivate inner peace, live happier so that they can thrive abundantly in all aspects of their life. So, in a nutshell, it all comes down to emotional resilience. Before I start, I wanted to fill you in a little bit of my story and share with you my journey on how I became a women's transformational empowerment coach. My early childhood and into early adult life were marked by abuse. A survivor of domestic violence, at age 27 and 4 children later, I finally got the courage to leave an abusive marriage of 7 years. As I started to reflect on life, I realized domestic violence has been a generational cycle in my family. And so, having a family who lived through abuse and were abusers themselves, I found very little support from them, to, to which made me realize that in order for me to overcome anything in life, I needed to become my own hero with a warrior spirit. From there, I realized that the tumultuous experiences in my life were an essential point for me to learn how to love and value my self worth that helped me turn within and find the journey back to myself. The early years of my own personal transformation were very tough periods of my life because when a woman leaves a domestic violent relationship, it doesn't always mean it ends from there. I was stalked, harassed, and manipulated, and attempts to control me continued. And all this while, I was trying to maintain a new way of life amongst all the chaos, but it proved to be exhausting. What got me through it was a friend who is a life coach who helped me understand that the external events didn't really matter or would affect me so much. And had I not given it that time and attention that it really needed. So, to address them accordingly, I had to shift my focus on what I did want in life. And this was truly life changing for me. Having a coach meant that I had an accountability partner who helped me see past beyond my blind spots. In saying that, before I continue, I want to briefly talk about my experience of having a coach. They see you help they see you help you they help to see the opportunities where you used to see the problems. They help you live out your dreams, discover your own answers, get new insights, realizations, different outlook or shift in perspective, and breakthroughs. They help you gain a new idea and tools you can use for the rest of your life. So, whether it's your relationship, career, finance, spirituality, personal growth, or health, these are just some of the areas in your life, um, that, some of the areas that your life coach can help you get, such as being crystal clear on what you really want, uncover what's holding you back from achieving your goals, help you take steps and actions by supporting you and keeping you accountable. In 2012, I was diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder, rightfully so, due to the traumatic events that and adversities that led to that conclusion. It was my diagnosis that really triggered my curiosity and interest in the field of psychology. The more I read, the more I became fond of human behavior. But I personally didn't fancy that the fact that I could possibly be disempowering people through labels, who, if not for self-awareness, may think that that is all there is for their lives and how they will live. And this is what really sparked me in questioning myself about my own diagnosis of post traumatic stress disorder. Number one, these are the three questions I asked myself. Do I really want or have to live in trauma? Am I really that stressed? If so, why? How? What can I do differently to minimize the impact of stress on my health? Is a diagnosis that entails a description of my triggers and responses something that I live by or consciously choose to live otherwise? And these were the very questions that led my interest in becoming a coach, because it is by modeling excellence for others that really set my soul on fire and leave a legacy of empowering people. In my quest to turn things around for me and my children, I embarked on a healing journey and forged my women's empowerment movement, reshaping the challenges and sufferings I endured and turned my pain into empowerment for myself and for others. Because I've known sadness, I learned that happiness was an inside job. Because of trauma and chaos, I learned how to cultivate inner peace. Because of poor mental health, I learned to navigate my way out of the resource out of the way, navigate my way out of resourceful thought patterns and shift my way of thinking so that I can live a vibrant and healthier life. Because I experienced financial hardship and a broken spirit, it led me to learn how to live an abundant life. My story to empowerment has been shaped relentlessly through resilience, through the challenges that I endured um, as a result of domestic violence, um, and also um, having four children. Through this journey, I paid the ultimate price. But if it means I had to go through all these challenges to be the turning point for my children and for the rest of the world, then I see it as a blessing and honor to be the pivotal change to pave the way for others as a transformational empowerment coach. So, what am I going to talk about with you all today is about emotional resilience, how to cultivate inner peace in order to have a more fulfilling and happier life, and to live in an abundant state of mind. Your life becomes a masterpiece when you master your peace. Amidst the busyness of life, chaos, or testing times are sometimes where we are pushed to learn the art of obtaining inner peace. Or sometimes it is embracing hardships and the difficulties that are the key ingredient and secret to happiness, because it teaches us what we do want instead and help us fine tune the definition of what inner peace, happiness, and abundant life is for each and every one of us. Inner peace, happiness, and abundance are not something we have to find out there in the world. It's something we already are and have within us, but some of us just haven't learned how to tap into it. Life can be so busy and noisy that we forget how to actually slow down and live in the moment. As we get caught up in the next thing and what else needs to be done, we slowly forget who we are, our purpose, and how to enjoy life as we live it. And this could lead to burnout and stress related issues impeding on our mental health. Have you ever found yourself saying, I'll be happy when I get that car, or when I achieve so and so, or when I get that job? Give me a show of hands or nod yes. I used to think like that too. The issue with this way of thinking is that in the interim of attaining what we want, we restrict our own happiness in the present moment. And when we do finally attain that car or that holiday or that dream job, thinking it's what will make us happy, it is only temporary joy and bliss. I'm going to share with you some powerful technique to develop emotional resilience through peace, owning your happiness, and live an abundant life. So, why cultivating inner peace is so important? There's a great quote by Chris Shee that I'm going to read out. And it says, the pursuit of inner peace is more important than the search for happiness or success. Happiness is but a fleeting emotion, and success can be taken from us just as it can be gained. But true inner peace is to live in the present moment through mindfulness, and each moment is all what we truly have. Hence, I have highlighted inner peace as the forefront to happiness because when you attain inner peace, it is through peace of mind that is real measure to success. And if it is something that no one can take away. Think about it. If we put all our energy into achieving specific goals rather than appreciating all the moments along the way, how much will we have enjoyed our lives throughout just to achieve a successful moment? Only to turn around and all the hype is gone. This is not to say we shouldn't strive towards our dreams, but we should but that we should strive to live and appreciate every moment in spite of whether we achieve our goals or not. So, how do we cultivate inner peace? Inner peace is attainable and accessible to everyone. It's a deliberate mental state of psychological and or spirituality despite the external events in life. There's a science to everything we do in life, and how we attain inner peace is determined by the quality of our thoughts, decisions, and actions. So, number one, gratitude. Being grateful for all that you have in life is one way to achieve inner peace and happiness. In essence, gratitude is the state of being thankful. When you practice offering thanks every day, even for the things that may appear insignificant, you start looking at life as an opportunity to grow and learn. Feeling gratitude for the life we have, despite all its darkness, can be difficult to achieve. But if you do, you will feel the healing energy gratitude can have. This way of perceiving life leads to be healing and internal peace, even when there's external chaos. Gratitude is about accepting our pain, not passively, but actively with conviction. What you focus on, what you focus your attention on expands. Therefore, if you're in the midst of a problem and, and you only concentrate on the negative, chances are you'll experience more of it. In most circumstances, no matter what the issue, there's always something to be thankful for. The problem is, we're often too caught up in the drama cycle to notice. The key is to make gratitude a habit. Number two, solitude. Now, solitude can be challenging for some and a lonely experience when they haven't yet learned how to enjoy their own company. Solitude takes practice, and the more you do it, the better you get good at it and start to enjoy your own company. Solitude allows you to focus on your needs and reflect on your life. It allows you to think about how you would like to be the person you want to be and the way you wish to set future goals and aspirations. By taking a step back from the structured systems at work and finding your own space, you are better able to rethink past goals or set new ones. In order for you to reflect and formulate new ideas, we must disconnect ourselves from time to time in order to silence the mind, to start giving that love, that loving, caring voice more time and space, um, in order for your caring, sorry, caring voice more time and space in your own head and heart. Being still enables you to deeply connect with yourself and experience freedom like no other. It allows you to think for yourself, formulate new ideas, discover your divine self, and become more independent. To say the least, not many people know how to value time with themselves. Therefore, it is an accomplishment and achievement in itself. Stillness leads to the beginning of self evolution. Below are a few questions to help you piece together during your time of solitude. So, you could ask, what do you want to do when there is nobody to impress, no approval to gain, no work to be done, and no schedules to be followed? Or what are the important elements in your life right now that you want to nurture and develop? What are the things that make you feel good about and proud of yourself? How do you envision yourself 5 or 10 years from now? Also, in solitude is also a great time to meditate. More so these days with COVID 19 and all the social distancing and restriction rules, is a perfect time to go within and practice meditation. Find a time you can commit to it, and it can be as little as 5 to 10 minutes. Studies have shown that regular meditation boosts the body levels of anti stress hormones like dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, and thereby enhances the body immunity to diseases and capacity to heal. There are plenty of guided meditation on YouTube that you can find. Now, another thing, detachment is number 3. Have you ever thought how much time and energy you waste every day remunerating on useless thoughts and feelings due to lack of detachment? Much of the anger, frustration, unhappiness, and disappointments are because of our lack of detachment. Whilst it's important to have standards, values, boundaries, and goals, too much attachment and expectation can lead to being disappointed when they are not met or does not go into plan, especially when we are too attached to the outcome or result and sometimes feeling like a failure or feeling resentful. By also adopting emotional detachment manifests the ability to function calmly under all circumstances. Having mental flexibility and open-mindedness also enables us to accept calmly whatever happens with the good and the bad equally. With this kind of attitude, you can accept both success and failure with minimal irritancy, and fewer things are less likely to bother you. So, what can we be attached to? Attachment can be with our relationship, money, social status, our job, our emotions, results or outcomes, and many more. What are the 7 key benefits to practicing detachment? Number 1, you create a strong ability knowing that even if you lose everything, you will not lose yourself, that you will be all right, that you can start all over again, and no one can see and over again and can see the excitement in the creation of that which strengthens your faith and gives you inner calm that you can trust yourself. Number two, you know that things don't have any power over you, and you have the choice of letting go. You are free to forgive, you're free to create something new. This gives you the power and confidence and the inner calm. Number three, the feeling of not having, the feeling of having not enough deserts you, which gives you a sense of security and fills your heart with gratitude. Number four, you create a feeling of positive expectation, which makes your life exciting to live. As you are looking forward to new people you meet, to new adventures, you will participate in new opportunities. Number five, you feel rich and abundant as you know that you have more than enough, as you are able to give and not only take, which is feeling of expansion. That feeling opens the door for more riches to flow into your life. Number six, you create the ability to receive as you know that the giver will be receiving gifts 10 times bigger as it is the law of God, universe or source. You know that there is nothing, sorry, number seven, you know that there is nothing you own anyway, as there are only temporary possessions, and you, the essence of you, are much bigger than that, which gives you inspiration, motivation to evolve, expand, and create, enjoy the life you want. So when you practice the exercise of material and emotional detachment, you are connecting to your inner peace deep inside. So another way to cultivate inner peace is to remove toxic people. Let go or limit your time with toxic people. So toxic people can thrive on drama. It gets them the sympathy and it gets them the attention. Best of all, it allows them to manipulate the emotions of people around them. It can take a lot of mental strength, but it goes hand in hand when it comes to inner peace. There's no one size fits all solution when it comes to dealing with toxic people in our lives. Even if toxic people had obvious labels on them for us to identify in order for us to avoid them, sometimes it can be difficult to avoid them or completely free ourselves because they can be a family member, a colleague, a friend, or extended family, such as in laws. So you don't have to extensively avail yourself to them. Coexisting with toxic means you are going to place boundaries, but it is your disciplinary acts to abide by these boundaries that will set the standards and determine your peace and claim your power. Here are some powerful and practical ways to do that. Choose your battle. Choose your battles wisely. Toxic people can drive you crazy because their behavior is so irrational. The more irrational and off base someone is, the easier it should be for you to remove yourself from their traps. Quit trying to beat them at their own game. Distance yourself from them emotionally and approach your interactions like they're an academic project. You don't need to respond to the emotional chaos, only to the facts. Dealing with the toxic Dealing with toxic people takes enormous amount of energy. You don't have to step up to every battle you're called to. For many toxic people, conflict is the only way that they can connect. So it's the way that they feel alive, notice and feel noticed and feel important. So save your energy for the people who matter. Focus on solution instead of fixating on the problems. When it comes to toxic people, fixating on how crazy and difficult they are results in giving them power over you. Quit thinking about how troubling they are or the negative behavior and focus instead on how you're going to go about handling them. This makes you more effective by putting you in control, and it will reduce the amount of stress you experience when interacting with them. Number five, acceptance. This is where understanding and acceptance go hand in hand. We cannot accept something if we don't understand whatever it is that we need to accept. It's a person's assent to the reality of a situation, whether it be acceptance of life's unfolding, accepting others, accepting yourself, or accepting your thoughts and letting them pass by. Finding inner peace is through self-acceptance. So it is through acceptance is how you be in a lot of more inner peace with yourself and the world around you. One of my favorite quotes of all time is, "It is what it is." Having that understanding and acceptance of what's beyond our control is something that will enable us to pass through the storms in life with so much grace, class, and tranquility. So, number six, mental flexibility, also known as cognitive flexibility. This is a good skill set to have. It's It's one's personal adaptability and our willingness to shift our thought patterns to respond to given situations in a less fretful way. So instead of dwelling on the or on an issue, the person with mental flexibility is one to think about what is the next best thing to do or the next best move to take. In short, being able to go with the flow. When one has the ability to exhibit mental flexibility, it can be very useful in all walks of life, whether it be in your workplace, family, children, partner, relationships, and in leadership. So, number seven, an abundant mindset. There is a misconception out there that abundance only refers to the amount of money you have, when in actual fact, it is much more than that. The abundant life refers to life in its abounding fullness of joy, strength, and strength for mind, body, and soul. This word abundance also stands for plenitude, prosperity, and bountiful. There is a quote I'd like to share by Eric Butterworth, and it says, "Prosperity is not just having things. It's the consciousness that attracts the things. Prosperity is a way of living and thinking, and not just having money or things. Poverty is a way of living and thinking, and not just lack of money or things." In order for you to attract abundance into your life, you need to think and feel abundant. You have to develop an abundance consciousness. It is to vibrate high energy, to be in a high frequency mode. That is by practicing some of the things that I have discussed so far. When you are in high frequency energy, you tend to attract what you want. And similarly, when you are vibrating on low energy, you will attract alike. So it's important to be consciously aware of the state that we are in, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So, what areas can we have abundance? There is abundance in love. There is abundance in the quality of relationships, whether it is with a friend, your boss, business. There are a great number of abundance in opportunities, abundance in good deeds, energy, time to do all the things that you want. The prevailing abundance mindset allows you to live in an unlimited, full, and satisfying life. Exude happiness, and despite the circumstances, feel plentiful, creative, and inspired. Take full advantage of and enjoy new opportunities that come your way. There is abundance of everything on this planet. You may not have access to these yet because you alienate yourself from it and prevent it from manifesting into your life. If you feel you are not part of abundance, the abundance of the universe, it is because you don't let yourself think in unlimited ways. You limit your own thoughts to the things that exist in your life right now, and not expanding your vision and horizons to greater opportunities. And that is what you to greater opportunities. And this is what you call as someone experiencing a scarcity mindset. Fear of the unknown can cause us to think with a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is the belief that there will never be enough, resulting in feeling of fear, stress, and anxiety. So I'll just give a few examples of what a scarcity mindset is and abundance. So scarcity could be you're a victim or a bully, or simply checked out. But when you're in the abundant mindset, you're in the driver's seat. For example, physical energy. So having that scarcity mindset can contract the body, feeling tense, feeling tense in the shoulders, clenched jaw, shorter breath. Being in the abundant mindset, you feel relaxed and alert, expansive in posture, rooted, and you're balanced. So breathing also deeply and evenly. There are a few more, but I'm just mindful of time. So those with an abundant mentality believe that there is plenty of everything in the world, from resources, love, relationships, wealth, and opportunities. And those with the lack of mentality prefer to believe that there is limited opportunities, limited opportunities and resources. Um, so, as the famous quote suggests, the secret to having it all is believing you already do. So in order to transform and live the life that you desire, it is by doing the inner work. Choose, decide, and take action to cultivate it. I trust you all have found this information beneficial. So it's now time for question and answers. But first, I would like to ask you all, those who would like to share what their personal insights or valuable lessons that they've learned from this.
Well, thank you so much, Alia. Just absolutely, Lola. You can unmute yourself. You don't have to type it. Like unmute yourself, and you can say what you want to say. And everyone, like this is the Q&A. Now it's your time to share your insights, ask your questions.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi, Aaliyah.
Hi,
This is Lola.
Lola.
Thank you so much for presenting this amazing speech. I've already learned so much from what you've been saying. But definitely, I feel like letting go is actually more for you than anyone else. So rather than thinking of yourself as a victim, forgiving, for example, is actually taking the burden off yourself. So that's what I've taken, which is very, very empowering.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your insight. And yes, definitely, you're right. Letting go is so liberating for yourself. And yes, it's what you call higher calling in order, the higher call higher order thinking.
Hi. Um, Thank you so much for the insightful presentation. I just want to know how you go from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset. What are kind of practical tools you can use, or?
Well, yeah. So usually when a person is in scarcity mindset, they're feeling fearful of and focusing way too much on you know lack, and they're feeling also lack from within. So in order for you to go from scarcity to an abundant mindset is really just reviewing, what are your, what does excite you in your life? What are the things, that you would love to have? So, what I always say is a pen and paper is your best friend. You got to be very clear on what you want out of life, and start focusing on taking, action plan towards what they are. So you've got to be clear and, write down the list of what you do want in life, and then start taking practical action towards them.
Aaliyah,
I
can I
think,
ask one more
yeah,
question?
yeah.
So meditation can come in so many forms, I suppose.
Sorry, you're cutting out.
That's right. I'll try again. So meditation, I suppose, can come in so many forms. What strategy do you use to meditate successfully?
Okay, so there are a number of few of meditation that I actually do, but one of my favorite that is, because of shortage of time, the one that I really love is the breathing exercise, where you just cut yourself out, and it only takes a minute. So you just cut yourself away, just cut yourself away from a different room, and just do 10 seconds breathing in and 10 seconds breathing out, 6 times. And that automatically, changes and shifts your mood, because when you're breathing diaphragmically, you're essentially putting more oxygen into your brain, and you start to feel calm and relaxed and think more clearer, and therefore you're more focused. So that's a quick meditation to use. There are also other like guided meditations that you can find on YouTube, depending on what you're striving for. So yeah, there's definitely a lot out there that you can source out.
Alia, I don't know if you can see the chat, but there are two questions there. One from John, one from Matan. If you wanna, can you see it, or do you want me to read them to you?
Okay. John, thanks for the speech. I would like to know how to remember all these rules while avoiding thinking too much. Okay, so John, to remember all these rules while avoiding. Okay, so basically, you're really going to have to go within and really, commit to yourself to taking some time out in order for you to just simplify, basically, first of all, what it is that you want out of life. Gain clarity and figure out what it is that you want, first of all. Because it is, it can be overwhelming. And I know that there was so much information that I had gone through. But if you'd like to learn more, definitely get in touch. But what I would say is really just, uh, understand what it is that you want first and foremost, and just write, with an intention, write 3 things of what you want to focus on, and then start, just getting good at some of those things before you expand onto the other, to the rest of other aspects of your life. Okay. Who else had a question?
Matan was asking, how can people reach and contact you?
Yes. Okay. So, for those who want to get in touch, if you're into personal development or love to be inspired on an empowering journey, or if you'd like to get to know more about my work, or how I can help you, connect with me on my social media platforms. That could be through my Instagram and Facebook page, which is called Leads to Self-Empowerment, or I am under Aaliyah on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Perfect. Are there any more questions, or any? Yeah. Are there any more questions?
I may have a question, but it's more a statement and a question at the same time, if I may be allowed. Do we have time?
Go for it.
Oh, thank you. Alia, firstly, it's very nice to meet you. It's my first time here today. And I must say, I definitely enjoyed hearing everything you said. Thank you so much for your speech and ideas. It's absolutely lovely. And thank you again for this platform and everybody making this happen. The first idea that I have in my head, actually, I've got two ideas, and I just want your comments on it, really. I just want to know what your take on it would be. That would be interesting to hear, if you don't mind. The first one, um, I would say I would phrase it in this way, where I would imagine that, or the best way to say this, there's a universe within and there's a universe outside, and the two do not always agree.
Yes, I
So I would
definitely.
like your take on the first. And the second point, the second thing I would like to say, and again, I just want your comments on this because I think it will be amazing to hear your opinion. The second statement, as such, then is no, sorry, the second statement just left me. Sorry, I'm still having my cup of coffee. So let's go with the first one. Please. Yes, Alia?
Okay, so what was the actual question?
The first statement is there's a universe within and a universe outside, and the two do not always agree, but that's where the journey starts. I would
Exactly.
like to have your opinion or take on that, please.
Well, yeah, so it can be very conflictual when you have your thoughts and then what's actually happening outside in the external world. So
Mm,
what is actually happening in our internal world is more important than what is actually happening outside. Because if you're in chaos inside, and your external world is in chaos, you're going along with that, and you're creating more, focus, and therefore you're creating more chaos in your life, and you know, co-creating and co-participating in that. Now, despite the fact that your external world can be chaotic, but if you just remove yourself and just take a moment to reflect on the things that you do want in life, focus on um, a solution based mindset, and start creating, forming your feelings, your thoughts, and really getting connected with what you do want and creating that vision in your life. As you do that, despite what's happening outside of the external world, you're going to pull in what you do, the results that you do want in life. And
mm.
I would say that, you know again, your problems and your challenges can be on the sideline, and you're thinking about it and you're seeing it, but despite of it all, it's almost as if it's like it's a distraction to and a test, on our personal selves, on really attaining strength, um, the capability of moving past that. So the more you practice just focusing on your desired goals, your desired life, as you do that, you kind of you pull that in much more quicker and faster, whilst all your problems then starts to dissipate eventually. And they may still be there, but you can focus on your problems, or you can focus on the life that you do want. As you focus on the life that you do want, you create more of that. So it's really based on a choice.
I don't disagree with that at all, and I think your take on it is lovely. Thank you so much for that. I think after a while, I think one thing about life, if I may further comment, if you would allow me,
Mhm.
um, is the idea or the distinct idea that all things change. And I almost want to quote, what is that? What's that TV show? Game of Thrones. What Valar or all men must die. It's crazy to see it, but what happens is all things change. All
Yeah.
things change. And what is fascinating is in our own inner journey, in my opinion, what you want now is definitely not what you're going to necessarily want, say, a year from now, or 2 years later, or 10 years later, because as you achieve, like you said now, as you eventually achieve what you want, a fundamental shift may happen later too. This is either due to what happened outside or an inner change that happened to you after already having achieved whatever goal you may have wanted. So I find the eternal journey a process, really. And this is really my second point. And I just want to know what your take is on that. The journey itself between the inner and outer world.
So the journey in itself. So what was the actual
Okay,
question?
sure. I'll rephrase it because I'm talking too much. I had good coffee this morning.
I think I need coffee
uh,
myself.
it's always good to wake up with some
Relate to that.
comedy. So I love it. No, what I'm trying to say is I believe there's a journey between the inner and outer world. For example, what you want now, you can get in the way that you are now saying. So I agree with you. But yet it also can change 4 or 5 years later, further down the line,
Yeah.
simply based on the fact that you yourself as a person have grown. So I just want your take on that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The ever ongoing journey, personal development for us is the, continuous of evolvement. And that, every moment and every year we're constantly changing. So to really strive and overcome ourself, our ego is really, one of the toughest and some of the toughest journeys for us to go through. But as you do and you overcome yourself and your ego and you just find a way to you know be humble and um, do the best thing, do what's right for you. Sometimes it really does take a lot of overcoming our own selves
Mm,
in order
mm,
for us to
mm, mm,
experience the next best journey of our life.
absolutely. Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you, Gilliam. I hope I said your name right.
Yeah, you did. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, everybody. Very good. Thank you so much, Alia, for this lovely, lovely hour that we spent together. Um, James put Alia's social media like information in the chat. So if you want to reach out to Alia at some point, there's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Alia's website as well. So thank you so much. This was very insightful. It was great. Um, so thank you, Alia, for joining our conference today and to share, because you shared all the knowledge that you had, and it was very nice and wonderful.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed my time and sharing this, wonderful experience with you all. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
you. So what is going to happen next is that we are going to have like a 5-minute break, and then we will have our second speaker here in the live room, Tillman. At the same time, in the other room, there will be a talk with Miss Mr. Chris Williamson about charismatic leadership. So if you want to hop between one Zoom and the other, please feel free. James will put the Zoom information for the other room in the chat. Uh, and we will be back in 5 minutes with Tillman talking about managing conflict in relationships in this room, and then Chris in the other room.